Hello and welcome to JungleStream. Today we will talk about updates in the case of singer David and rumored now deceased girlfriend Celeste Rivas Hernandez. We've come to learn a few new things thanks to Private Investigator Steve Fischer, like the fact that there is a second house, which is believed to be the home that Celeste and David shared, which has us questioning if the second house was also raided, since it hadn't been on our radars. And we've also come to learn about a possible new timeline of when David's black Tesla was last moved before it was towed and Celeste's body was found. Two friends of David's that left with him on tour are now on the forefront as potential witnesses. Let us explore some more, and please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so you'll be notified when new content is uploaded. Was the wrong house raided? Who is Neo? The news broke on September 8th of 2025, a head and torso, according to LAPD, found in a trunk. The news headers read, a dismembered body in the front trunk of a Tesla, 5'1", wavy black hair, tube top, black leggings, a yellow bracelet, stud earrings, and a tattoo on her right index finger that reads, shh. That's SHHH ... That was the description given to the public when this tragic story first broke. We soon came to learn that this was Celeste Rivas Hernandez, the 14-year-old girl who had been reported missing in 2024. Celeste's mother then did what every parent fears most in the world. She had to identify the body of her child. What happened to Celeste was evil and inhumane. This young girl had her whole life ahead of her. At almost 2 months since Celeste was found dead in the front trunk of the Tesla belonging and registered to 20-year-old David Anthony Burke, also known as David, we still have no answers to when she died, how she died, who dismembered her body, who parked the vehicle in its final location before it was towed to the tow yard, and why was the Tesla replaced with a new red rented Tesla. Today we will walk through the timeline of what David and those who left with him on tour did just before the Tesla was moved to its final spot before it was towed. We will dive into what these three individuals, David, Neo, and Aysia, have done in the aftermath of the discovery of Celeste's body. We'll discuss red flags that everyone missed. For those who are not familiar with this case and are wondering who David is, why he's famous, and how he's connected to the young teenage girl found in his trunk, I'll give a quick refresher. My previous video goes deeper into the background of the key players in this horrific story, so feel free to head on over after this video and click to learn more, and don't forget to subscribe. David is a rising singer that came to fame for making hundreds of YouTube videos. He played a video game named Fortnite and created his own music for his videos and allowed everyone to use his music for free. In a short amount of time, he had record labels offering him multi-million-dollar deals. He signed with Interscope and started his music career with songs that centered mostly with his fascination of obsession, loss, death, and crime, with a flair of gore. So how did this rising star come across Celeste, the 14-year-old teenager that was found in his Tesla's front trunk? I want to be clear that none of the online chatter has been confirmed by the authorities at this point, and it's alleged, not because it's false, but because the authorities have not provided any new information for us to corroborate with certainty. We've done our best to verify the videos and messages on chats, and while they all appear to be real, we cannot guarantee with 100% certainty that any were not altered or manufactured. So as of now, we will say that this is all alleged, but I myself find it difficult to believe that this is all pure coincidence. At first, David's defense claimed that he was fully cooperating with the authorities, but we've recently come to learn from TMZ that he has stopped cooperating. I've posted a few videos that go deep into what allegedly happened as Celeste and David's paths crossed, but here's another quick review. In October of 2022, when Celeste was only 12 years old, it's believed that she was in video fan spaces that were tied to gaming and music where David was playing Fortnite and taking part in a group chat. Then it's alleged by fans that David asked for Celeste and she soon replied. Screenshots have been circulating online that show Celeste chatting with the account that is believed to belong to David. His fans had been communicating with David on that same account for a while already. David then invited her to join his Discord server so they could continue talking, which she did. For those who do not know what Discord is, I'll try to break it down as best I can. I'm not a professional in this area, nor have I used this ever, but from what I've recently come to learn is that Discord is a communication app that can be downloaded as a mobile app or desktop application. Dangerous stuff goes on in Discord. It's a server where you don't need your phone number tied to it. You could have a screen name and you could talk to different people. You could watch people stream, play games, and it's basically like a community, like a chat room like we used to have back in the 90s and early 2000s. But Discord has more technological advancements like accessibility and more features for videos and photos. There have been too many cases where predators have used Discord to go undetected because they can pose as someone else and they could pretty much go under the radar. If we take the information online at face value, if we believe the snapshots and photos of chats and live streams are real of the couple, we can then say that David and Celeste did have some type of relationship. It was intimate enough where they shared the same space. She appeared in his live streams. David spoke of Celeste as his girlfriend, and he mentioned to his fans on group chats that he and his girlfriend Celeste were expecting a baby in 2024. David made no attempt to hide the fact that he had a girlfriend named Celeste on group chats and interviews, and he even wrote a song with her name. Where he was careful, however, was in showing her true identity. He was cautious with what was shared with the public and what would remain hidden for no one to see. What David was doing with Celeste was criminal, and he knew it. He wouldn't have behaved guilty otherwise. He knew Celeste was underage, so he actively looked for ways to blur the truth. He showed premeditation in his actions time and time again. His bringing a second older Celeste around his friends showed how he carefully had planned his defense for the day when he'd get caught. He posted pictures with 14-year-old Celeste and would be careful to hide her face. But we can still make her out by her hair, her eyebrows, her silhouette, her clothing, her bracelets, her purse, or by what she would say in the chats and live streams. On several live streams, she concealed her face as she wore large clownish glasses, and she always covered her head, and all so that he could find a way out when their relationship was exposed. There's more than enough proof that he did have some type of relationship with her. Many have also come forward and have shared stories of the time they spent with the once couple. In February of 2024, David posted on his Discord account a picture of Celeste's tattoo with David's name on her wedding ring finger as she wore an engagement ring. She had posted the same picture on her Instagram as a highlight a few days earlier. In early March of 2024, Celeste was pictured at a music event with pink bracelets, which match his picture on Instagram posted in August, where he is wearing the same bracelet. The deleted Twitch livestream video shows that she's just a child, and he seems to be in complete control. There's a degree of intimacy between them in the video. The poor judgment of David of bringing a runaway girl onto a live stream shows his narcissism. He feels that he is smarter than everyone else and can pretty much get out of anything. We've been trying to make sense of the findings that Private Investigator Steve Fischer has presented to the media in the last few days. He suggested that Celeste might have lost her life since January. He was able to trace the last photo of Celeste to January 2nd of 2025 and explained that there's no trace of her after. We also learned that the LAPD did not collect key pieces of evidence during the search at the Hollywood Hills mansion. These things, Fisher said, could be used to dispose of a body as well as some notes about what to do with Celeste. Since we weren't aware of a second house until Fisher mentioned it in an interview, we're not sure if law enforcement conducted a search at this home. This second home is believed to be the home that Celeste and David shared. This is the house where Celeste and David live-streamed and took photographs together in the living room, bathroom, bedroom, kitchen, and outside, which they then posted on their social media accounts, including Instagram and Discord. This house is only minutes away from the rented Hollywood Hills mansion that we all saw being raided on the news on September 17th. Based on what online investigators have found, the second house was taken off the market after it had been listed for sale earlier this year. This basically means that the second house was unoccupied at the beginning of the year too, which is when Celeste is believed to have disappeared. We don't know if the house was sold or has been rented since. A neighbor of the Hollywood Hills mansion told The Sun that he had seen David and Celeste together taking walks all the time, and that he recognized her from her photo on the news. He also said that they were quiet, no loud parties, and he thought they were just a young couple. What this tells us is that Celeste did visit that home in the Hollywood Hills. We don't know, however, when this neighbor had last seen them together, and if perhaps it was when the police had found her in Hollywood and had returned her to her parents' home. We don't know if that second home was rented after that incident. We clearly still have many questions. But before we dive into this, let's remember that David is innocent until proven guilty. There have been no charges or arrests made at this time in connection to this case. What we all think we know is alleged. What is clear is that he knew Celeste, and he has not made any statement, even acknowledging what happened or offering condolences to Celeste's family. Through our research, we've come to find that so many have come forward from Discord chats and other social media and have shared their stories and concerns online in their own investigations and videos. Steve Fischer, too, mentioned that he's collected thousands of photos and videos from friends and fans of Celeste and David. Even the livestream mods from Twitch posted a message stating that they were not aware that Celeste was underage. With the silence and lack of information from the authorities, those who defend David are able to blur the lines while confusing the narrative. They taint Celeste's memory, but also shift the blame to her parents. Hit pieces against Celeste and her family have aired on gossip and online channels. Some online have even said that her parents sold her out to people. This is not true. There's no proof of this whatsoever. No one benefits more of these insane stories than David and his defense. Those who appear to be doing the defense's job report that the Celeste Rivas Hernandez case might never be solved. This helps spread doubt and confusion that can very much help a murderer and groomer get away with his crimes. Some refer to Celeste as the woman in the trunk. This is deliberate. Celeste was not a woman. She was a young girl. Calling her a woman is a way to downplay that she was a child and not an adult who could consent to a relationship with an adult when it comes down to the charges. Many appear giddy even to see justice work in their favor, to protect the monsters that pay them the most, while families of victims are left in the darkness with no justice for their loved ones. We can only hope that the silence from law enforcement is due to their diligence at bringing those who harmed Celeste to justice. But unfortunately, the longer it takes, the colder the case gets, because witnesses' memories can fade and digital evidence can be overwritten. The perception from the public then is that the police department doesn't care, or that they are protecting someone. In this case, that's someone being David Anthony Burke, also known as David. The Tesla was registered under David's name. That should have been enough to get the warrant to get into the Hollywood Hills mansion immediately, especially since the Tesla was never reported as missing or stolen. Yet many are questioning why it took longer than it has in other cases. David's life is moving on, while Celeste has come to an end. People claim to have seen him on TikTok, Snapchat, and playing Fortnite in the last few days. This makes us question how justice actually works. Everyone who loves Celeste will stay in a permanent state of pain, while the one that allegedly groomed her and possibly brought her life to an end, or had some part in dismembering her body, is still free and is still living his best life. While it's become exhausting to keep asking questions that no one will answer, it just takes remembering that a child was seeked out, preyed upon, and is now dead. Which takes us to our next point. People online are questioning if David's team might have been involved in the death of Celeste. One person that has jumped to the front of the line is Neo. His handle is Neo the Asian. We've come to learn that he might have been the last person that drove the Tesla. We know that he has been wiping his social media clean since the news broke about Celeste's body being found. If it was Neo that moved the Tesla with Celeste's body to that location before it was towed, then what did he know? We are still unclear on who Neo is and what his role is in the David orbit, so I'll explore what we have come to learn. David and Neo have known each other for many years, and Neo seemed to be David's right-hand man. It's unclear if he was David's assistant. We did find some past messages where he would call himself David's personal assistant. We found a picture of Neo in the background as David was speaking with Celeste on Discord while looking at himself in the mirror. So, it's safe to say that he did know of that relationship. Neo would post many pictures and tag David, but has suddenly stopped following David and has been deleting posts and pictures on his social media. He appears to be distancing himself from David and erasing all traces of their past. An important date that Private Investigator Steve Fischer brought to our attention is July 29th of 2025. This was the day that Fischer claims to have video evidence of the driver of the black Tesla as the vehicle is being moved to its final location before the tour bus departed that evening and the Tesla was towed weeks later. So the question is how Neo fits in the story. Through pictures on David and Neo's social media accounts, we know that Neo was with David before the 29th of July and left with David on the tour bus after the Tesla was moved at 11 a.m. on the 29th. Some people suggest that Neo and David had some type of intimate relationship. Neo posted some messages on social media to David where he said that he would never let go, which made people speculate that there could be something more than just a friendship. Did Neo have something to do with the disappearance of Celeste? Did he move the Tesla before he left on tour with David? Did he know that there was a body in the trunk? Did he help David in covering up anything criminal that could have happened to Celeste? His actions have many questioning that if he had nothing to do with all of this, then why did he unfollow David and wipe his social media clean? If we go with what online chatter says, then Neo knew Celeste. They spent time together. David's female friend Aysia was also at the Hollywood Hills mansion before the tour bus departed on July 29th. So who is Aysia? Aysia is a friend of David's who partied with him all the time. She stayed at the Hollywood Hills mansion and accompanied David as he set out on his tour. Aysia commented that she did know Celeste and was under the impression that Celeste was 18 or 19 years old and was in college at USC. She has also gone silent on social media since the news broke of Celeste's death. She made a short video commenting that she misses social media and will return to it, but that she needs time so that those who are bad people show who they truly are. Many have questioned if she is speaking of David or Neo. Either way, she hasn't said much more. A rumor that is circulating online right now is that David is at a mental health hospital, but as I mentioned earlier, some individuals have been sharing photos of David on Snapchat, TikTok, and Fortnite. What is definitely true is that it's nice to be David these days. He can fully cooperate with the authorities, or so his defense stated, while continuing on with his life, even as an underage girl that's been pretty much proven to have been in some type of relationship with him was found dismembered in his vehicle's trunk. The list of potential suspects keeps getting longer because none of this makes any sense, which brings us right back to where we started. What happened to Celeste? Where did David think she was all of this time if he had nothing to do with her disappearance and death? Who put her body in the trunk? We wonder what big promises she probably heard that never came true. What we know is that she was alone, far from those who loved her, we still wait for law enforcement to give us answers. Let's hope that there have been no charges or arrests yet, because the LAPD is looking into several suspects and creating cases for all of them. Let's pray that those individuals doing the bidding for David's defense are wrong, and that there will be justice for this beautiful 14-year-old girl, and that this case will not go cold and unsolved. This is a story about a young girl's death. It's about our craving for the truth of her relationship with David and our hunger for justice. There's no way to undo what has already been done. There will never be closure for those who love Celeste.